Today's business topic is remote jobs with no experience. The push towards working remotely came as a shock to most of us, but soon enough, it seems a big part of the workforce has gotten used to working from home. This will have a big impact on what individuals will value and search for in the future, because research has shown that we are willing to take a lower paid job if there are remote work options. However, there are already plenty of jobs which were remote. The great majority were just not as used to it as we are now. Platforms such as Fiverr, TopTool, Remote.com, and UX Jobs have been offering project-based jobs which can be done anywhere in the world. And many of these jobs and requests do not require any extensive experience or degree, which is why they have paved the way for the self-employed digital nomad. So, I'd like to present a few different remote jobs with no experience as such, but more creativity and a will to break the mold. Our first option is Amazon MTurk. Did you know about this remote job with no experience? Amazon Mechanical Turk, or MTurk, is a crowdsourcing marketplace that makes it easier for individuals and businesses to outsource their processes and jobs to a distributed workforce that can perform these tasks virtually. While technology continues to improve, there are still many things that human beings can do much more effectively than computers. Traditionally, tasks like this have been accomplished by hiring a large temporary workforce, which is time-consuming, expensive, and difficult to scale. Crowdsourcing is a good way to break down a manual, time-consuming project into smaller, more manageable tasks to be completed by distributed workers over the internet. This could be anything from conducting simple data validation and research to more subjective tasks like survey participation, content moderation, and more. This is very similar to Fiverr and Upwork, but with the multinational company Amazon behind it, which legitimizes the concept in spite of its short time on the market. Our second listing, Social Media Manager. Social media rules the modern world more than we would like to acknowledge, and companies and individuals do not oversee its power. But when someone sees its powers, others are intimidated or would like to outsource this remote job. And this is where creative individuals who only need a good grasp of the media platforms come into play. This job comes with a lot of responsibility and can be a make or break for companies, as social media platforms are the fastest way to get a feeling of a company's image and standpoint. But don't let this scare you away, because it is the same as for most individual profiles. So just make sure your strategy aligns with the company that hires you. Our third option is freelance writer remote. Not all of us are born with a storyteller within us, so when it comes to writing articles, product descriptions, marketing scripts, etc., it's best to have someone who has the flair for captivating your mind within the first few sentences. This is why freelance writing is a highly lucrative job, which only requires your creativity. Jobs like this have been on the freelance platforms I've already mentioned since their early beginning and will always be there. Since jobs like these are almost always project-based, it makes little sense for companies to have a full-time employee for writing only when needed. So if you've always thought of yourself as a closet poet, author, or novelist, then it's only a question of getting your first project. Another great remote job is video editor. Just like writing, there are other jobs that some are born with or have just acquired the skill in their free time. A great example is video editors. This is a highly paid job as it requires a lot of hours in front of a screen and, most importantly, it requires taste and skill. With the fast improvements of technology, we all have editing studios within our laptop that we can access anywhere in the world, and most importantly, we can work on improving our skills anytime we want. Software such as Canva is easy to access and to use. So it's no surprise that having the best editing software at hand at all times can make individuals stand out as they gain the experience. And if you want to improve your skill set before starting out taking remote jobs with no experience, then you can always take a course on Coursera or Udemy and get the best teaching available on the different software out there. A final option is teaching a language remotely. The internet connects the entire world, and this gives us the power to offer the skills we have at hand and use it for remote jobs with no experience. So, if you are fortunate enough to know more than one language, you already have a highly demanded skill set. Many might overlook this, but you technically have a product within you which has no costs per se, so you can make a good living on sharing your languages. And the best part is that this is always something that will be in demand. So don't shy away from looking into the different platforms, like I've said earlier. Skillshare or Teachable, forums, and online language institutions, because it just might be your bread and butter in the future. As we think back over all these remote jobs, the price you can charge at each position varies depending on experience, market, portfolio, and your competitive advantage. So look into what others charge and see if you can stand out amongst them, and set your price once all factors have been taken into account. All of these jobs I've mentioned can be done on the beach in Fiji or at a mountain refuge in the Italian Dolomites. All you need is a stable connection for some, and for others, you only need a power source to complete your tasks. It's hard not to find this very attractive, so hop on the remote work train and start looking into what you can offer.